So it's quite an overview, a small overview about what was tested last semester. And I was explaining something very important here regarding IPSAS 9, which is revenue from exchange transactions, and the IPSAS 23, which is revenue from non-exchange transactions. Now listen and listen to me very well. If you are to look at, for example, income statement of NGOs, like United Nations, like IGAD, like African Union, if you look at the income statement from those kind of institutions, you will see that they have got two revenue items. We have revenue from exchange transactions, that is a revenue captured using IPSAS 9, and then we have revenue from non-exchange, which is revenue captured using what, IPSAS 23. Ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. When you go to institutions like United Nations, these guys have got two revenue streams. There is that revenue stream which purely comes because of what your donations, the donor community members. We have, for example, if it's United Nations, for example, we have like, say, United States of America saying in a financial year, we have given you guys 5 billion to go and fight this and this, to go and help in fighting, for example, the COVID-19 virus in whichever countries, number of countries. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. This amount that has been given by US to the United Nations, there is nothing that United Nations has given in the form of what here? Exchange. So basically, United Nations has just received this money as what here? As a donation. So it is revenue out of what here? Non-exchange. So basically, if you are an accountant at UN, whenever you get in some cash inflows, whenever you have some cash inflows, you must categorize these cash inflows into revenue from exchange and revenue from non-exchange. So if I've got my two buckets here, the first bucket will be for the revenue, capturing revenue from non-exchange, whatever I'm given. For example, the gifts I get, the donations, etc. So long as this money I'm being given, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not being told to give anything in return, automatically that will be put in a bucket called revenue from where? Non-exchange, and accounted for as per dictates of who? IPSAS number 23. But now listen again, ladies and gentlemen here. What if during those old days, like United Nations inside there, they used to have very good grounds. Grounds in this case that they could hire out there. They could hire to people to come and do, of course, weddings from there, right? Meaning that these people were hiring, were giving United Nations some money. But the money that they were giving United Nations was not for free. There was something in exchange. These guys here were getting some services. So if there is another good example, ladies and gentlemen, like in the United Nations, these guys, they really sell quite so many publications out of research that they do, right? Out of research that they do. They sell so many publications out there. So you see now they are selling publications and the money is coming in. So there is some kind of what your trade, there is some kind of what your business that they're doing. So if they're earning revenues out of selling something, then whatever revenue they earn out of trading, ladies and gentlemen, will be accounted for under what we call revenue from what here, somebody? From exchange transactions. Revenue from exchange transactions. So ladies and gentlemen, this was just a quick recap of these things, but I would want to know whether, at least at a high level, remember these are called helicopter classes, at a high level, have you been able to capture something at a high level? Very good. So somebody is telling me, like now the churches, when you give a church your tithe, will that be accounted under non-exchange or under exchange? Tithe. Tithe. Where will we account for tithe if you are a church? When your members give you tithe. That was a very good example. So you can see what students are saying, that this automatically becomes what here? Non-exchange, because really there is apart from the blessings, I mean, there is nothing in this case here which is of equivalent value that you are getting in return. in return. So it's revenue from what year? Non-exchange. Now, ladies and gentlemen, spiritual gifts. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen here. Very many of you have predicted this EPS to come. And I know the worst mistake that most of you guys do when you are studying EPS, you mnaenda tu EPS direct. Unaweza kuangalia, for example, diluted. Mnasahau kwamba in most cases, these examiners have brought us very easy EPS questions and the students are not able to pick any mark. Like there is this question that was tested in November 2016. November 2016. There is this question that was tested here in November 2016. Are you able to see my November 2016? I think I should download to make it much better. November 2016 question number 4. November 2016 question number 4. And alafu ukiangalia pia, as you guys open up your question, remember these guys will keep on surprising you people with a lot of theory questions. Like now you explain 3 examples of related party transactions, relationships, meaning that AFR, I can easily pass this advanced financial reporting and analysis paper by just knowing a lot of theories. And so long as I pass, to me, it is the end which justifies the means. Nobody will come to tell me that you are an accountant who only passed because of the theories. Nobody. So have you gotten your papers? Sound inapotea? Sure. Are you guys able to hear mwalimu? Are you guys able to hear mwalimu? Yes, thank you very much. So are you able to see my question here? Question number 4B. Are you able to see my question number 4B? Question number 4B. Are you able to see it? Question number 4B. Yes. Thank you very much. So I'm told here the following information relates to Jumbo Limited. I can see the net profit after tax for 2013, 2014, 2015. I can see shillings millions. I'll do 2 of them today. I'll do one which is for basic EPS and one which is for diluted. Today, you guys are very lucky. So I can see the net profits after tax for the 3 years. On 1st February 2014, a rights issue of 1 new share for each of the 5 shares outstanding was made at an exercise price of shillings 5. All right. Before the rights issue, the number of shares outstanding was 5 million. The last date to exercise the rights was 1st March 2014. Note number 4 is noise. I'll delete it. They're simply putting it there to confuse the easily confusable students. Note number 5, the fair value of 1 ordinary share immediately before exercise of the rights on 1st March 2014 was shillings 11. Now, what a good student will do in such a question is to single out and identify, of course, the low-hanging fruits. The low-hanging fruits. Like in this particular question, can somebody tell me, what do you think is the lowest hanging fruit here that we should be able to harvest? Which is ripe? Which is ripe? The lowest hanging fruit that I should be able to harvest, which is ripe here, is which one here, somebody? The lowest hanging, the lowest hanging fruit, the lowest hanging fruit that I should be able to harvest, ladies and gentlemen, very fast. That I should be able to harvest here very fast is which one here, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody is telling me that your inbox has 19,000. When you start succeeding a little bit, that is what happens. Sasa WhatsApp, wachana nayo. International disaster. So I'm waiting for students to give me the low-hanging fruits that I should be able to, even if I don't get anything, even if I get almost nothing in this question, which is that part that I will be able to get very easily. The thing, you know, AFR is about low-hanging fruits. Yeah, they are saying the profit attributable to ordinary shareholders, right? No, for me, I know what is quite low-hanging here. When they talk of, ladies and gentlemen, this thing of rights issue, I'll start by calculating the theoretical X rights price. That to me is the lowest hanging fruit. And they are telling me here the theoretical X rights price. Is there anybody who knows how to calculate the theoretical X rights price? Is there anybody who knows how to calculate the theoretical X rights price? Franco, Hauzimi kamera Franco, oye Franco. Franco, zima kamera yako. Usipozima kamera, utalemewa hapa saizi na mambo ya nini? Ya bandwidth. Mimi nimeshaona hakuna kitu mimi napenda kama hii kitu ya X-ray. Mambo ya rights issue. So I can see Cleophas is putting up his hand. Cleophas, is it possible you type your question? Is it possible you type your question? Because if I try to unmute you, itakuwa an international disaster. So the first thing that I will do here is to come and compute the theoretical. We compute the theoretical X rights price. X rights price. This is quite a low-hanging fruit, even if I have not yet reached number of shares after the rights. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, this theoretical X rights price is quite easy. Do we have in this case here, have they told us the fraction? Great. I can see students are giving me very many formulas. I can see on 1st February 2014, a rights issue of 1 new. So we have 1 new share for each 5 shares are outstanding. So for each 5 old shares, so 1 new share for each 5 old shares was made at an exercise price of 5. So the new share basically is to go for 5 bob. The new share here is to go for 5 bob. The new share is going for shillings 5. And then the old shares, they'll tell you the price of these old shares. They'll tell you the price of the old shares. The price of the old shares, what do we have over here? The price of they have told us in note number 5, the fair value of 1 ordinary share immediately before the exercise of the rights on 1st March 2014 was what here? Somebody was 11. So this is the price of the old shares before the rights. So in this case here was 11. So ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very well. 1 new is 5. 5 old, each one is going for how much here? Somebody for 11. So could you kindly give me this, multiply this? So 1 times 5, this gives me 5. 5 times 11 gives me how much here? Somebody 55. So then these shares in this case here will be worth how much? The total bundle here will be worth how much? 60. But now how many shares do we have which are equivalent to this? How many shares do we have in total? 6. So we are saying that 6 shares are worth 60 bob. 6 shares are worth 60 bob. Then how about 1 share? Once you give us that 1 share, then you are giving us the theoretical X rights price. Therefore, the theoretical X rights price here will be 60 divided by 6, which gives us how much here? Somebody, which gives us 10 like that. The theoretical X rights price is 10. The theoretical X rights price is 10. That is so important to me. And then, ladies and gentlemen, once you have given me this theoretical X rights price, because I'm an expert in terms of this thing, I know there is a very important fraction that will be very important for me. This one we call bonus, or even the rights fraction that I'll be using in my one-nose calculation. Is there somebody who can remind us the formula for the bonus stroke the rights fraction? Is there somebody who remembers that formula? The bonus stroke rights fraction, the bonus stroke rights fraction, the bonus stroke rights fraction. There is nobody who is talking to me. Nobody is talking, but I've seen Alex Mokua. He has told me that Mwalimu, simply come and take the market price per share. The market price per share, the market or the fair value of a share divided by the TERP. The market price of a share divided by what here? The TERP, yes. So the market price per share, not of the rights, ordinary shares that you have. The market price per share, you guys gave me the old price of 11. 11 out of the TERP, which is what here? Which is 10. So 11 over 10. 11 over 10. These are low-hanging marks, low-hanging fruits. I'm harvesting. As other students are just looking at the ceiling. You know, I don't know what cast advanced financial reporting and advanced financial management. For the many years that I've always been invigilating, over 80% of the students that I normally see sitting for these papers, candidates, I don't know normally what happens to them. Over 2 hours of their time will be spent by them looking at what here? The ceiling. So I don't know whether they are praying. That's something I've never understood. Instead of them, in this case, you're trying to look for low-hanging fruits and writing a few things in there, right? But we look at God. Great. For his mercy. No. God, ladies and gentlemen, wants you to work. Wants you to work and then you pray. Yes. Ukikaa unaangalia ceiling, alafu uandike karatasi yako empty, and God bless the work of my hands. Which hands have written nothing? You will get a zero. You will get a zero. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is something that once I've been able to do this, I'll speak very fast this thing of one-os. So next I know this is something, if I happen to get it, I'll have gotten the entire concept. So I'll come and pick this thing of one-os here. One-os stands for what in full? Weighted average, number of what here? Shares. Weighted average, number of shares. Weighted average number of shares is a very easy thing. We shall have to isolate years, one at a time. So we start with 2013. We start with 2013. Peter Chol. Is it possible for you to, please, all of us try to type? Because if I try to unmute you, it will be disastrous. This number here is unprecedented. This number is so huge, and I'm so sure most of them have not muted their mic. So please try to ask questions by just typing. So let's start with 2013. 2013. 2013. For 2013, ladies and gentlemen, remember, I will come and do date here, right? After date, is there somebody who can remind us, direct the camera to the screen as the video is static? Is the video static really? Are you able to see my video? 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 Yes, you guys are the ones who are not investing in good internet providers. You're not using Safaricom. Wario, you're not using Safaricom. You're not using Safaricom. So you're going to lose out on very important announcements we are going to make here today, because today we are making announcements. I'm so sure there are very many people who have come here to hear what Daktari wants to tell his AFR students. Yeah. Oh, don't unshare. Let me see. Somebody is advising here. Don't unshare the paper. Oh, so you would want me to have the paper shared throughout? Would you want me to have the paper shared throughout? I thought the other option would have been, no, I thought the other option would have been, because we have our own papers, Mwalimu, don't share at all. Don't share at all. Which question is this? Please try answering Mwalimu for Mwalimu there. So we have the date. Now, out of this date, I would want to know the total number of ordinary shares. I would want to know the total number of ordinary shares. Total number of ordinary shares. After that, right, we have the time. Thank you very much. After that, the weight, the bonus fraction. We have the bonus or the rights fraction, isn't it? The bonus or the rights fraction. And then lastly, we have what here? The one-os like that. Remember, you must isolate. Hata ukitaka unaweza kuweka pia hapa katikati hapo, unaweza kuweka workings. Kuna wengine nimeona wanaweka workings katikati hapo, which is still okay. So we have the total number of ordinary shares, we have time, we have bonus fraction, and then we have one-os like that. We have one-os. Peter Chola, jeka mkono chini, bado utachoka. Aya, date ya kwanza ikuwe gani? Date ya kwanza ikuwe gani? Kwanza umeona profit yao ni ya mwisho wa mwaka. Profit yao ni ya mwisho wa mwaka, ni ya December 31st. Kwa hivyo date ya kwanza, ladies and gentlemen, lazima ikuwe ni 1st of January. Date ya kwanza lazima ikuwe ni 1st of January 2013. Where in this case here, you must give us balance brought down. Balance brought down. In terms of number of shares that were brought down in 2013, zilikuwa shares ngapi? Kumbuka, usianze kutafuta ati preference shares kwa hii. Hii ni mambo ya one-os. Hii ni mambo ya number of ordinary shares. We don't capture any other shares here. In number of ordinary shares. So 2013, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have. This is what we have. You can see the year is ending 31st December. Unaambiwa on 1st February 2014, a rights issue of 1 new share for each 5 shares outstanding was made at an exercise price of 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a transaction that took place in 2014. It will not affect us in 2013. It will not affect us in 2013. We go to note number 3. Before the rights issue, the number of shares outstanding was 5 million before the rights issue. So all along, before the rights issue, we have been having 5 million shares all along. And then note number 4, the last date to exercise the rights issue was 1st March 24. I told you to delete that statement. Note number 5, the fair value of 1 ordinary share immediately before. Ladies and gentlemen, before the rights issue, which took place in 2014, we've been having what year? 5 million shares. We've been having 5 million shares. So 2013 is closed. I ought even not to have drawn this kind of a big table for 2013. Because 2013, the total number of ordinary shares here were 5 million. 5 million. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way up to the end of the year, there was really nothing here up to the end of the year, up to the end of the year, up to the end of 2013. Up to the end of 2013, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at this thing very well, up to the end of 2013, hebu nihesabie miezi ni ngapi woye? Nihesabie mwezi ni ngapi woye? I'm so happy because now my ladies in the house, from this date to the next date, this date to the next date, ladies in the house nowadays wamejua kuhesabu sana. 12 months, isn't it? There was nothing really much. 12 over 12 like that. Bonus fraction gotire, kumaanisha 2013 wanosi ya 2013 hata ina maneno. Kumaanisha wanosi ya 2013 ni milioni ngapi somebody? Ni milioni 5. Wanosi ya 2013 milioni hii. Mwisho wa mwaka hii. Wanosi, mwisho wa mwaka wanosi itakuwa straight away 5 million. Aya, tiki namna hiyo because najua hiyo ungepata. Hiyo najua ungepata. Wanosi ya 2013 ni 5 million. Ya 2013 December ni 2013 December ni 5 million. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after that, I would want us straight away. I know of some students who will start giving me the EPS of 2013. That is not me. If I'm the one doing this, I will go straight away to 2014. I'll go 2014, get to a notes of 2014, get to a notes of 2015. So can we go to 2014, ladies and gentlemen, and then we compare notes? Can we go to 2014, we compare notes? So if you allow mwalimu atavuta kidogo hii. Naona hii? Nitavuta hii. Nikuje abracadabra, nikuje niandike mahali hapa 2014. 2014 lazima nianza na Januari. Nianza na January 2014. So balance brought down number of shares which were brought down. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, hii tushafunga, hii nimeshafunga hii. Hii nishafunga. When I'm bringing down my shares, I don't bring down the one-offs. I normally bring down the number of ordinary shares that were existing as at the end of the year. Steve Juma ananiambia mwalimu, hizi zilikuwa ni ngapi somebody? Ni 5 million. 5 million. 5 million. Now, ladies and gentlemen, could you kindly listen and listen to me very well? Kindly listen and listen to me very well. Listen and listen to me very well. Listen and listen to me very well. 2014 kuna mambo ilifanyika. 2014 kuna mambo ilifanyika. Ukiona vizuri hapa 2014, which date is this? On 1st February 2014, a rights issue of 1 new share for each 5 shares outstanding was made at an exercise price of how much here, somebody? 5. So there was a new issuance of shares which will be affecting our nose. So we have a very important date. Which date is this? Can somebody remind me? The date of the rights issue in somebody. Which date is this? Which date is this? Which date is this? Which date is this? Wanasema ni first when? 1st February. 1st February. 1st February 2014. We had a rights issue. We had a rights issue. A rights issue of how much? A rights issue of what fraction? A rights issue of what fraction? 1:2? Oh yeah, uniongeleshi. A rights issue of 1:5. A rights issue of 1/5. A rights issue of 1/5. So then what will happen? We shall take 1/5 of the number of shares we had. 1/5 of the number of shares that we had outstanding. If you wish, you can use this column over workings, but if I'm the one doing this, I'll come and talk of 1/5 or 5 million, which gives me how many shares? Which gives me how many shares here, somebody? Which gives me how many shares? 6 million shares, which gives me 6 million shares. Are they 6? No. 1 million equals here, 1 million. But I appreciate what that student is trying to tell me. The student is trying to tell me that this column here normally takes the total, takes the cumulative. This one here takes the total or the cumulative, the total or the, so 5 million plus a million. 5 million plus a million gives me how many shares in total? 5 million plus a million gives me how many shares in total? 6 million. Thank you very much. 6 million. 6 million. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. Now we come to, there is no any other transaction that happened in the year 2014. No other transaction. So from there, unaanza kuhesabu miezi. Unaanza kuhesabu miezi. So kwanza unaanza from this particular date, our opening date, to the next date when we had a transaction. How many months do we have in between? How many months do we have in between? So we have here January. Don't count February because these happened at the beginning of February. So it's only how many months? 1 month. Kwa hivyo hapa uoye nitasema kwa time fraction, nitasema ni 1 over what here somebody? 1 over 12. Si ni kweli? 1 over 12. And then from there we can see, ladies and gentlemen, quite a wide road leading us from this date to the end of the year. Hakuna mambo yanafanyika hapo katikati. From this rights issue, hatuna new issue of shares, right? Right. So from 1st of February to the end of the year, which is 31st December 2014, how many months do we have? We have 11 months. So it will be 11 months over 12 months. For those students who have been in my class, you know that this number of months must always add to 12 over 12. So kumaanisha hapa sasa niko sawa. Remember, a right will always come up with this bonus fraction. Is there somebody who can remind us the bonus fraction for this right? We had calculated this. Wanasema mwalimu ni 11 over 10. So this 11 over 10 tunaweka wapi? Tunaweka hapa immediately kwa rights kweli? 11 over 10 tunaweka wapi? Tunaweka hapa kwa rights kweli? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this bonus fraction does not apply to the transaction that gave birth to it. This 11 over 10 was given birth by the rights issue. We normally make adjustments for the predecessors. And for 2014, it's only one event which is ahead of us. So this 11 over 10 will only be used to adjust the preceding events up there. Hata ingekuwa, for example, in 2014, multiply up on 11 over 10 like that. But not here. Not there. Not there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please, could you then come and give me the one? So I've seen some student who has used a very old formula there. The one of using like the number of months before. You know, the problem with that is that if, for example, we had like 2 rights issues, or when we have got many transactions in the period, you will get lost somewhere. I'll be able to show you where that concept cannot apply. I'll be able to show you. You would rather adopt this. This is applicable in all situations. So please come and give me the one was here. You take this times the time fraction times the bonus fraction, give me an answer here. So unaniambia mwalimu ile 458,3333. 458,3333 like that. How about the last one? The last one will be 6 million times 11 over 12 in a dash, of course. So it is 6 million times 11 over 12, which will give me 5 point what here, somebody? Obadia nasema ni 5.5 million, right? 5.5 million, right? So 5.5 million. Thank you, and thank you very much. Then could you kindly come and give me the total one-offs as at the end of the year 2014? As at the end of the year 2014, what do we have, somebody? As at the end of the year 2014, what do we have here, somebody? Please give me an answer. Wanasema ni 59, 58, 59, 58, 333. Now, I would want to know whether there is any student who has tried using a different formula, but at the end of the day, we have gotten the same answer. Is there a student who has tried using a different formula And at the end of the day, we are getting the same answer. Those are now the scholars I'm looking at. Different formula, but you're getting the same answer. Oscar anasema yes. No, we can't add. Those years are what are independent. The years are independent. The years are independent. We have to calculate EPS for each year. Calculate EPS for each year. Zamzam amesema yes. Thank you very much. She has used a different formula and we're getting the same. Now, ladies and gentlemen, could we kindly now go to 2015? Do we have 2015 here? Do we have 2015 here? Do we have 2015? Rudia hapo kwa fraction. Hiyo fraction tumetoa wapi? Hiyo fraction tumetoa wapi? We, nataka mkuwe macho sana. Ndio nisirudie sana sababu kuna swala nataka kufanya diluted. Na inataka time sana. Hiyo fraction tumetoa wapi? Hii fraction tunaita bonus ama rights fraction, bonus fraction. What we've done is to take the market value before the rights divided by what we call the theoretical ex-rights price. And remember, to get the theoretical ex-rights price is very easy. Like here they have told us it is 1 new for every 5 old shares. 1 new for every 5 old shares. That is what they have told us. So when we read here, ladies and gentlemen, they have told us on 1st February 2014, a rights issue of 1 new share for each 5 shares outstanding was made at an exercise price of 5. So the rights price is 5. Right is 1. So 1 new at 5 bob. So 1 new at 5 bob. 1 new at 5. So this 1 new is at 5. And then the 5 old shares, each one of them was going for 11 bob. So the old here, the fair value of 1 ordinary share immediately before exercise of the rights on 1st March 2014 was 11. So times 11 like that. And this is what students came and gave me a figure of 5 there and a figure of what somebody here, a figure of 55. So it gave us what somebody there, 60. But you see, this 60 now is for how many shares? 60 is now for 6 shares. So 6 shares going for 60 bob. How about then the price for 1? That price for 1, of course, now I brought in the right. So that price for 1 will be the theoretical ex-rights price, which will be now 60 divided by 6, which gives me what there, 10. And then I'll come and fit in this into the formula. The bonus fraction here will be equal to the market value of the old shares. Market value of the old shares is 11 all over the theoretical ex-rights price, which is what there, which is 10. Don't tell me it's 1.1. We are calling it what? A fraction. And this bonus fraction, it's for this rights issue. And we are saying in the rights issue, we cannot put that fraction here. The rights issue, all the other activities upwards, we shall have what here, some of that fraction being pegged up for the up transactions there, but not immediately on the rights issue like that. So I hope I've answered your question. And you guys are able to get for me this. So can we go to 2015? Do we have the year 2015? Yes, it's being recorded and I'll be able to share with you immediately after this. Yes. Now let's go to the next year. The next year now is 2015. 2015, is anybody who is seeing anything that will really affect us in 2015? Is there somebody who can give me the one-offs for the year 2015 very fast? One-offs for the year 2015 very fast. I'm not seeing much transactions there. One-offs for 2015. Who will be able to get this present of mine today? The one-offs for 2015. Because if you look at this, the rights issue was only in 2014. So 2013 and 2015, there is nothing much. Who can give me the one-offs of 2015? Who can give me the one-offs of 2015? Who can give me the one-offs of 2015? One-offs of 2015. One-offs of 2015. One-offs of 2015. One-offs of 2015. Yeah, so many of them are seeing 6 million, isn't it? It's 6 million. Because for 2015, when I bring my balance brought forward, it will be 6 million. And I'm going to stay with this 6 million for 12 over 12 months. 12 over 12 months. A whole year. There are no adjustments. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Now, what I would want you to do is to come and now remember the formula. the formula of getting our EPS, the formula of getting our earnings per share, the basic one, earnings per share. So remember, for us to get earnings per share, we shall take the earnings attributable to ordinary shares. Earnings attributable to ordinary shares all over weighted average number of what here? Shares. Sorry, here it is earnings attributable to ordinary shareholders. Earnings attributable to ordinary shareholders all over weighted average number of ordinary shares. So please come here. How do we get our earnings attributable to ordinary shareholders? This is very easy. We normally take profit after tax, and then we less profit attributable to NCI. Profit attributable to NCI, and then of course we'll come under less preference dividends. Very important for us to just get used to this. This is how we calculate our earnings which are attributable to ordinary shareholders. So you take the profit after tax that has been reported. The profit after tax that has been reported. So we have our 3 years. I'll be able to extend my camera. We have 2013, we have 2014, and then we have 2015 there. We have the 3 years like that. So anytime they want you to calculate the earnings attributable to ordinary shareholders, we shall always be thinking like this. You take the reported profit after tax, you subtract any profit which is attributable to non-controlling interest. And then we also subtract any preference what here? Dividends. So ladies and gentlemen, please let me project my question here. Let me project my question here. Here we are. We are told, if you look at this, we have the reportable profit, the net profit after tax. 2013 is 30, 38, 45. So here we have 30, then we have 38, and then lastly we have 45. Now this question, does it make any mention to do with anything to do with the profit attributable to non-controlling interest? Do we have non-controlling interest really here? Aki awaniongeleshi. Do we have non-controlling interest here? Hakuna, si ni kweli? Hakuna. So hapo kwa non-controlling interest, unakuja straight away. These are low-hanging fruits. Unaweka 0, 0, 0, like that. Ladies and gentlemen, please talk to me again. Do we have any preference shareholders in this question? Do we have any preference shareholders in this question? Hakuna preference shares. So preference shares pia hakuna. Preference shares pia hakuna. Preference shares pia hakuna. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha kwamba earnings attributable to ordinary shareholders muko nazo. Hii inakuja ngapi? Oye. Sinabaki the same. 30. Hii inabaki 38. Hii inabaki 45. 45 like that. Same. Alafu kumbuka, tunataka pia one-offs. Could you kindly, I know we have got big figures. Could we kindly capture those figures in millions? And the one-offs, I know our figures are quite huge. But remember the profits that we have here in millions. So I'd want everything here to be in the form of millions. So could you kindly take the number that you have there for 2013, you divide it by 1 million. You divide it by 1 million. So ananiambia ni 5 million. 5 million. Thank you very much. How about the one-offs for 2014? You can say 5 point something. I don't have a problem with that. You can say 5 point something. You can say 5 point something. For 2014, you can say 5.96. That's okay. So 5.96, that is okay. How about for 2015? Whatever one-offs you heard, you divide by 10. 6, thank you very much. 6, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, could you be kind and apply this formula there to give us the EPS for these years? You simply take this divided by this divided by that, this divided by that. Give me answers. Give me answers. Give me answers. So Obadia Mulinge ananiambia kwamba the EPS, the basic EPS. The basic EPS for 2013 is 6. To me divide. The second one, ukidivide unasema ni 6.38. Ya mwisho ni 7 point what ya somebody, ya mwisho nambua ni 7.5. So ladies and gentlemen, what is your take on the performance of this entity in terms of what your EPS, sorry, in terms of EPS? What is your take? What is your take? What is your take? What is your take on the performance of this entity? Yeah, the performance is increasing, but there is something you haven't done. You see, in 2014, we had, ladies and gentlemen, some rights, isn't it? Growing, I like that. We had some rights being issued here. So we have a bonus element. Doing well. So when you have a bonus element in any year, remember the previous years must be restated. Do you remember that concept of restating the comparative? Don't make comparisons directly. So I would want us to restate the one of 2013. So give us the restated EPS of the year 2013. So 2013, then I'll take the old EPS times what? Somebody who knows this thing. So I'll take 6 times what? Somebody. Reciprocal, even if I understand nothing from this particular class, I know when it comes to restating for the previous years, if the bonus fraction was 11/10, for the previous year's restatement, I'll take the previous year's EPS times the reciprocal of those bonus fractions. So times 10 over what here, somebody? Times 10 over 11. Times 10 over 11, which will end up giving me what figure, somebody? So the comparative, the restated EPS, So remember the bonus fraction was 11/10. Now here we have to do the opposite. So it's 5.45. So the restated here becomes 5.45, which actually even confirms that there is quite a very high what here, a very high growth rate. Because now I'm comparing 545, from 545 we went to 6.38, went to 7.5 like that. So the comment that you're putting there is that this company's performance is superb. Any CEO who is able to increase their EPS like this is a CEO who should be able to earn huge perquisites in form of what here? Bonuses. In the form of bonuses. No, I'm so sure, ladies and gentlemen, I've moved with a very high supersonic speed, but is there somebody who has been able to pick something that they can use in an exam? Is there somebody who has been able to pick something they can use in an exam? At least TERP, right? Great. So reciprocal. Good speed, thank you. Yeah. So now let's go to another question that now has got what here, somebody? This concept of diluted. Diluted. Are we ready? Where are the 5.96 and the 610s? Mayom, you must have come in a bit late, Mayom. You Mayom kama ungekuwa Kenya, ningempatia present. You must have come in a bit late. Alichelewa zile one-offs. Tukua nachukua one-offs figures divided by 1,000,000. So if you don't mind, Mayom, you'll be able to watch, please, the video to this. If you do not mind. Then what was, Mayom, what was the figure that you had for one-offs in the year 2014? If you don't mind. In the year 2014, what is your one-offs figure? What is your one-offs figure, Mayom, 2014? Okay. Mayom says his one-offs, no huku zi add. Mayom ulipata one-offs moja hiyo, huku add hiyo apili ndekuji hiyo mtawatch video sasa, mtawatch video. Aki niko na time kidogo sana. Angalieni hapa. Niko na time kidogo. As much as I would want to answer your questions, but fortunately, and this is why, this is why it's important, ladies and gentlemen, that we, you know, online classes are very nice because now you'll get access to the video immediately. Let's continue, right? Or I could have added. Huyu anasema ako Sudana akorada. Naona huyu. You are then utafuata kitu kwa video, utafuata kwa video. I can assure you, please. You know, Gladys ako Djibouti. Do you work for IGAD, Gladys? I've been at Djibouti, IGAD. Do you work for IGAD? Do you work for IGAD? Gladys, I'm gonna work for a different organization. No, okay. I've been there. Kuna wakati Djibouti joto inaenda paka 45 degrees. Yani AC kisha kwa nyumba stima unachemuka damu. International disaster. Mulinge is in Russia. Umedanganya hapo, lakini we shall overcome. Sasa asante sana. Mtapata from the video. Asante sana mtapata from the video. I'm never arrogant. Sikatai kuchukua swali, but in the interest of time, tafadhali, please just allow me to move very fast here. In the interest of time. This is an easy one, but because of the time left now, this is a good one because of the time. So come here. Yes. Are you able to see my screen? This is September 2015, the pilot paper. September 2015, question number 4. Question number 4, part B. And you can see now, these guys have brought in this concept of question number 5 being theoretical. Like now, in line with IPSAS 23, revenue from non-exchange transactions. Yani this lesson imewafunza vitu mzuri sana. Distinguish between exchange transactions and non-exchange transactions. Out of 4, always talk about it. Enumerate 4 examples of non-exchange transactions. Explain the contents of the following reports: environmental report, director's water report. Look at those number of marks. If you're not careful, you can easily end up getting 4 out of 20, which means I'll teach you again next semester. I don't want to teach you again next semester, ladies and gentlemen. I would want to teach you, yes, but at a different level. During ISPAC meetings, amen? Amen. I don't want to teach you in this level. Next semester, we should be going to a higher level. Great. Hallelujah. Now here we are. We are told here, 𝐏𝐬𝐻 Limited is a manufacturing company quoted on the Securities Exchange. The following information was extracted from the records of the company. On 1st January 2013, the company had an issued and outstanding share capital of 300,000 ordinary shares of shillings 20 each and 100,000 8% convertible preference shares of shillings 50 each. All ordinary shares were fully paid, and the preference shares were convertible into ordinary shares at the rate of 3 ordinary shares for every 2 preference shares fully paid. Easy things. Not true. The company reported profits after tax of 1.2 million in the year ended 31st December 2013 and 1.8 million in the year ended 31st December 2014. The profit for the year ended 31st December 2014 is after inclusion of a profit of 250,000 from operations discontinued in the period. On 1st April 2013, the company made a rights issue of 1 fully paid ordinary share at 60 for every 3 ordinary shares when the shares were trading at 84 each. On 1st October 2013, the company issued 200,000 ordinary shares at market price. Note 5, due to high market price of its shares, 𝐏𝐬𝐻 Limited split. I like this splitting and reverse splitting. When a good examiner introduces this thing of splitting and reverse splitting, he ensures that he throws over 50% of the students under the bus. Imagine a bus which is going to ISPAC. You are thrown under the bus. It's very bad. A good examiner, a good examiner is fighting always with students, should introduce this thing of split and reverse split. But fortunately, my students know how to handle the split and reverse splits. So due to the high market price of its shares, 𝐏𝐬𝐻 Limited split its shares in the ratio of 2 fully paid ordinary shares of shillings 10 each for every one ordinary share of shillings 20 each on 1st April 2014. We are told the company offered 200,000 stock options on 1st June 2014 with an exercise price of shillings 30 when the average market price per share was 40 in the year. None of the options were exercised. This will help us in diluted EPS. On 1st July 2014, the company issued 8% convertible debentures amounting to shillings 4 million. The debentures were convertible into ordinary shares at the rate of 60 fully paid ordinary shares for every 1,000 of the debentures. None of the debentures were converted in the year. So these are potential dilutive financial instruments. We are told 8, the company had issued 6% debentures with a nominal value of 5 million in the year 2014. The debentures were convertible into ordinary shares at the rate of 60 fully paid ordinary shares for every 1,000 of the debentures. None of the debentures had been converted by 31st December 2013. However, on 1st October 2014, holders of shillings 3 million debentures converted them into ordinary shares. So there is something there I have to be careful, which will affect my one-offs, because some debentures were converted to ordinary shares. Corporate tax rate is 30%. So they want me to give them basic EPS for each of the years ended 31st December 2013 and 2014. So low-hanging fruits, I can see 3 of them. Number 1, I can see the rights issue. Number 2, I can see the what year? The EROs. Ambao tumesema EROs, earnings attributable to ordinary shareholders. Chukua part. Sema less. Profit attributable to ordinary shareholders. Kuja pasema less. Preference dividends. Very easy, less preference dividends. Tuko na miaka mbili. 2013, 2014, any low-hanging fruits. How could they give us this kind of an easy question, really? Ambayo haitaki kufikiria. Profit attributable to NCI, sorry. NCI. Profit attributable to NCI. Screen blackout. Oh, yeah. Kuna problem. Screen blackout. Are you able to see mwalimu, really? Are you able to see mwalimu? Are you able to see my board? Are you able to see? Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please ensure that you have strong internet. Today, the students are very many. Ensure that you've got very strong internet. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, we come here. Please, let's give this examiner the profits attributable to ordinary shareholders. So we start with the reported profit. Reported profit, Shigana. You can see on 1st January, no. Note number 2. The company reported profits after tax of 1.2 and 1,800. I would want my figures to be in thousands. I would want my figures here to be in shillings, thousands. So, wanasema hapa ni 12 ando, i profit after tax. Na ingine ni 18 ando. 1,200 and 1,800. 1,200 and 1,800. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do we have anything here that they have given us which is talking about profits attributable to NCI? Please, Jane is requesting somebody here to share this question to the group through WhatsApp. Please try to do that. Please try to do that. Try to do that. Jane, I wish I was a lady. If I was a lady, I would have multitasked easily. I would have done this, but I'm a man. I'm telling you, if I try to take my phone right now to share, I'll be distorted. 100% distracted. So my mind will be, so forgive me, but I know I've got good daughters here, good sons here who have already done that on WhatsApp. September 20, helicopter, we are helicopter. We are helicopter, we are helicopter, we are helicopter. Done. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So do we have any profit in the question which is attributable to NCI? Which is attributable to NCI? Which is attributable to NCI? No. Zero. Now, good students are asking questions here, which tells me that you guys haven't started reading. Some of you haven't started reading, but fortunately, mtapita, hata kama mjaanza, hiyo ndio uzuri wa kuwa na hii helicopter revision. Helicopter revision ya watu kama nyinyi. Umeona kitu ya discontinued operation. Discontinued operation inaweza ikaenda katika basic EPS. Discontinued operation inaweza ikaenda katika basic EPS. Your profit ya discontinued operation, can we bring it katika basic EPS? Please talk to me. Itaenda kwa diluted. Itaenda kwa diluted. Itaenda kwa diluted. Hiyo itaenda kwa, ita affect diluted. Ile kitu ambayo huwa ina affect hapa attributable to ordinary shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, inakuwa straight away ni profit attributable to NCI na preference dividends. Even if it was included, it doesn't matter. Well, ukisikia anything to do with that, ukisikia anything, ladies and gentlemen, to do with profit like discontinued operations, etc., do not bring its adjustments here. Wache kai nje huko. Well, so long as we pick the reportable profit, you less profit attributable to NCI, and then you less preference what are the dividends. Are we together up to there? Are we together? 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 Yes. So could you then kindly give me the preference dividends? Please give me the preference dividends here. Preference dividends, what do we have? There is a place they gave us preference dividends here on 1st January 2013. The company had an issued an outstanding share capital of 300,000 ordinary shares of shillings 20 each and 100,000 8% convertible preference shares of shillings 50 each. So could you kindly give me the total preference share capital? Total preference share capital. The total preference share capital ni 100,000 preference shares times 50. So once I have this total preference share capital, I'll only take my dividend percentage, which is 8. Thank you very much. 8 of the 5 million. 8 of the 5 million. My figures are in shillings thousands. My figures are in shillings thousands. So in this case here, what is 8% of the 5 million? I like you guys. You guys are great. So what is 8% of 5 million? Remember, my figures are in shillings thousand. Please cut 3 zeros. So it's 400. Now, what do you think about preference dividends in the year 2014? In the year 2014, it's quite straightforward. Preference dividends in the year 2014. The same, because there is nowhere they have told us that preference shares were redeemed or we increased. There were no changes in the preference share capital in the 2 years. No changes. At times they'll tell you that in 2014, more preference shares were issued. At times they'll tell you that in 2014, beginning, perhaps in this case here, preference shares were redeemed, were redeemed, something like that. But here, ladies and gentlemen, they were convertible. They were convertible. Those issues of convertible and whatever, those ones here will be affecting us, Jamie, at what stage? Not unless you're told they converted, because the only thing that they converted, if you remember, were debentures in the last note. In the last note. If they are not converted, when they tell you it's convertible and they are not converted within the period, then that's a potential dilutive financial instrument. Dilutive financial instrument. So in this case here, we have 400 outstanding here. Thank you very much. So please then come and subtract for you to be able to give us the earnings attributable to ordinary shareholders, So this one I'm pretty much aware that it's 800, right? And 1400. I can see good questions here. How about irredeemable? Not convertible. So maybe if you could read. On 1st January 2013, the company had issued an outstanding share capital of 300,000 ordinary shares of 20 each and 100,000 8% convertible preference shares of 50 each. All ordinary shares were fully paid and the preference shares were convertible into ordinary shares at the rate of what year? 3 ordinary shares for every 2 preference shares fully paid. But you see, we never converted anything, right? We never converted these preference shares. They're only convertible. This is a language of telling you that, hey, you know what? When you'll be calculating the diluted EPS, you must bring these financial instruments that have got the potential of increasing your ordinary shares. The potential, when you have something which has got a potential of increasing your ordinary shares, automatically that is a dilutive financial instrument. So we can't bring those issues here because now part one of this question, we are only computing what here, somebody? We are only computing the normal or the basic EPS. Ladies and gentlemen, this one I should be able to double underline. And then of course, in an exam, you also remember this emoji. You smile a bit. You smile a bit. Exam, hapana kuwa umekasirika sana. Ukikasirika sana hivi watu hawezi kuiona. Aya. So una smile a little bit like that. Great. Now from there, you know the next step ni one-nos. Now one-nos, please, what tuna separate miaka. One-nos. Tatu tunafanya table tofauti. Tuanze na one-nos. Tuanze na one-nos ya 2013. One-nos ya 2013. I'm interested in the date. Tumesema tuweza introduce just like a column ka workings, right? Then we have the total number of ordinary shares. We have the total number of ordinary shares, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, we have the time. We have the bonus fraction, and then we have now the famous one-nos like this. Uzuri ni ile mwaka ambayo inaisha December. Kwa hivyo najua hapa beginning, lazima niseme 1st of January 2013, balance brought down. Balance brought down. Ilikuwa shares ngapi in total? Ilikuwa shares ngapi in total? Ilikuwa shares ngapi in total woye? Ilikuwa shares ngapi in total woye? Hawataka kuniongelesha. Ilikuwa shares ngapi in total? 300,000? Please don't bring preference shares here. Here we are only bringing one-nos. We are only bringing a number of ordinary shares. So in this case, on 1st of January, the company had issued an outstanding share capital of 300 ordinary shares. And please remember, we bring number of ordinary shares. So in this case here, balance brought down, hapa kuraja working. So the total number that we began with was 300,000. Do we have any other date umetupatia in 2013? Any other date umetupatia in 2013 ambayo iko na in 2013? You can see students still asking here that the profit of 2014 included discontinued operation of 250. Do we use it? No. Don't say, maybe I'm the one who is misleading you. We shall overcome. Again, can explain better, especially using the ACCA content, utai capture vizuri. Don't worry. Don't worry. Right? So unaambiwa, ladies and gentlemen, unaambiwa hapa, note number 2 is about profitability. Note number 3, on 1st April 2013, the company made a rights issue. It's 2013. The company made a rights issue of 1 fully paid ordinary share at 60 for every 3 ordinary shares. So kwanza, tufanye kwanza hii. Tafadhali tufanye kwanza hii. Kwanza. Tukuje hapa, tuseme, wamesema date gani? Wamesema date gani ilikuwa na rights issue? Date gani hiyo ilikuwa na rights issue? Date gani ilikuwa na rights issue? Date gani? Please talk to me. 1st of April 2013. Kulikuwa na rights issue. And what was the rights issue? What was the rights issue here? What was the rights issue? How many for how many? How many for how many? So wanasema 1:3. So 1:3 times the outstanding number of shares. Outstanding number of shares here are 300,000. Outstanding number of shares here are 300,000, right? Right? Which will give me how many shares here, somebody now? Under the rights issue, we have 100,000. So cumulatively, sitakuwa ngapi cumulatively? Sitakuwa ngapi cumulatively? 400,000. Thank you very much. Now, hapa hebu cheza kama wewe, abracadabra. Nipatie the time between this issue and this issue. What is the time? Time between this and this time. Wacha muone maajabu ya Musa. Wanafunzi wakikosea, wacha muone maajabu ya Musa. Jabia Musa. So we have January, we have February, we have March, we have April. No, because this was at the beginning of April. So 3 months. So then this will be 3 months out of what here, somebody? 12 months. Haya, tuendelee tu kwanza tuone kama kuna any other transaction. Let's see whether we have any other transaction in 2013. Do we have any other transaction in 2013? On 1st October, look at this. On 1st October 2013, the company issued 200,000 ordinary shares at market price. I love this. It's 2013 transaction on 1st October. So we have 1st October 2013. What happened here? We issued how many shares here? We issued how many shares here, somebody? We issued how many shares here, somebody? We issued how many shares here, somebody? We issued 200. We issued 200,000 ordinary shares. We issued 200,000 ordinary. This is a full market price. Hazina norma, hazina diambo. This is ziko sawa. This is a normal. This is a normal. So we issue 200,000. You simply recognize them. So how many shall we be having in total? How many shall we be having in total? 600, right? 600. Thank you very much. 600,000. 600,000. Apart from this transaction, do you want any other transaction? Are we done with April? Bado. Jamaliza April. Jamaliza April. Najua unauliza jamaliza April. I just want to capture the transactions of 2013. 2013 ukiangalia the next one ilikuwa ni year first. The company offered 20. Sasa imesharuka kwa 2014. Imeruka kwa 2014. Sasa hakuna kitu kingine tena in 2013. Hakuna kitu kingine in 2013. So niwe ukuja hapo tupatie sasa time. So niambieni hapa sasa kutoka 1st April to 1st October. How many months do we have in between? How many months do we have in between? How many months do we have in between? Wacheni mwoni liwambia wasichana wanapoteanga sana miezi. Wasichana upotea sana miezi. I've never understood why. Yeah. Utapata na mwanaume hata mmoja anapotea mwezi. Lakini wasichana wanapotea miezi sana. Hiyo ni kitu jaijua kwa nini. Nitafanya research. Kama Jendrosa alikuwa amepotea. So, unahesabu April, May, June, July, August, September. When I start counting October, I realize October haikuwa imeenda ni fast. So you're right. So this is 6/12. 6/12. From there, ladies and gentlemen, we have here this. So now from here, we are talking of this month to the end. This month to the end. This month to the end. To the end of the year now. To the end. This month to the end. This month the end to December. Of course, there'll be what here, somebody? 3/12. 3/12. And of course, time fractions, when you add them, they must always add up to what? They must always add up to 1. They must always add up to 1. Remember. From there now we come and ask ourselves, did we have any rights or bonus transactions in the year? Do we have any right or bonus transactions in the year? Yes, tuko na rights, isn't it? So tuko na rights, then the first thing you need to do, tuko na right hapa, iko na right. Then I would want to see whether there is any student who will be able to give me, because of the rights, let me see whether there is any student who will be able to get the theoretical X rights prize. Theoretical X rights prize. Let's see whether there is any student who will be able to get the theoretical X rights prize. The theoretical X rights prize. You can see there are students who have been able to run very fast. Like Kelvin is a good student from AAA. To this AFR. This guy is always there. Right? He's always there. Zamzam amesema 78. Thank you very much. Zamzam is my student of FM. Mary 78. Mary 78. Betty 78. Eni ya wanaume na watatea takuna tamoja amepata figa wanaume wote hawa. Hakuna mmoja amepata figure wanaume wote. At least John amewakilisha. Yeah, because katika theoretical ex-rights price, ladies and gentlemen, katika theoretical ex-rights price, hii si kukule kichwa. Hapana. Hii ni low hanging fruit. Hii ni low hanging fruit. Hii si kukule kichwa, ladies and gentlemen. We are told here, katika theoretical ex-rights price, wametuambia hapa, not number 5, not 5. It's not number what now? Not number 3. On 1st April 2013, the company made a rights issue of 1 fully paid. So we have here a right issue of 1 new for every how many? For every 3 old. So this 1 new, the one new was going for how much? We are told from this note number 3, the 1 new is supposed to go for 60. The old one, so we're going for 84. Alafu unapata at this level, I've never understood why. Utakuta at this level, mwanafunzi for whatever reason ana interchange. Hajui definition ya rights. Rights issued shares, ladies and gentlemen, are those shares that are normally issued at a discounted price. Price ya right lazima ikuwe kidogo. So then 1 times 60 gives us how much here, somebody? 60. 3 times 84 gives me how much? 3 times 84 gives me how much? Wanasema ni 66 tena. 252. So ukiongeza zote zinakuja ngapi total value? Total value zinakuja ngapi oye? Total value inakuja 314 ama 312. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha this 312 is for how many shares? 312 is for how many shares? 312 is for how many shares? Ati 1 neke. Ukiongeza itakuja 4 shares. So how about 1? So the price for 1 now here will be the theoretical ex-rights price, which will be 312 over 4. Ladies and gentlemen, you may not have gotten anything from this mwalimu, but I so strongly believe that at least umeshika formula ya theoretical ex-rights price. Uendi nyumbani bure, uendi home bure. So this is 78 like that. This 78 like that. Then what is the bonus fraction? Let me see. What is the bonus fraction? Bonus fraction. I'll take the market value. Over the term. Market value all over the term. Nimeona mmoja amechukua opposite. Nipatie dakika moja ni change battery tafadhali. Just a minute, change my battery. As I change my batteries, could you kindly try to calculate for us the one-offs? Please try to calculate for us the one-offs. So is there somebody who has been able to get the one-offs? Is there somebody who has been able to get the one-offs? Okay. Thank you so much. So wamekuja wakaniambia mwalimu, sasa sisi tumepata the bonus fraction as a market value of these old shares was 84 all over the theoretical ex-rights price, which is 78. But again, there is a mistake I normally see my students here, so many of them doing. watakuja kuambia kwamba theoretical of course they have an idea that this theoretical X rights bonus fraction should be cascaded backwards. They have an idea, but they normally start from the wrong area. Kumbuka uwezo ukaanzia mahali pa right, not rights issue. Your bonus fraction cannot start from there. It normally starts from the immediate predecessor and then goes up and up and up. So then this one here will be 84 over what here, somebody 78. And then I'll be able now to get the one-nos very easily by taking the total nos times the time fraction times the bonus fraction will give me this in form of a whole number. One-nos. Is there somebody who can give me this figure very fast? Is there somebody who can, the first one, please give me the first one, please. Please give me the first one, please. The first one, I know the total will be that 430, but the first one is 8769. 8769, thank you very much. How about the second one? 400,000 times 6 over 12 gives me 200,000. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then now we have the last one, 600,000 times 3 over 12, which gives me 150,000. Therefore, the total one-nos, itakuja kuwe ngapi total one-nos? Therefore, the total one-nos, itakuja kuwe ngapi? 430, 769. 430, 769. Is there again a student who used a different formula, but at the end of the day, we have gotten the same answer? Is there a student who used a different formula, but at the end of the day, we have gotten the same answer? Yes. Yes. Including number of months, there are students who count like this month's 12 over 12. Wanda zio kikount namna gani kwenda chini, hakuna method mbaya. The most important thing is that we get the same thing. The same thing. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can even go ahead and finish this. So if you wish, you can tell us there the basic EPS in the year 2013. 430.77 in thousands. 430.77 in thousands, that is still correct. Now, from there, ladies and gentlemen, I would want us to rub this, and then we start calculating the one-nos for 2014. The one-nos now for 2014. I like one-nos for 2014. So straightforward. One-nos for 2014. One-nos for 2014. It's a straightforward thing. One-nos for 2014. So one-nos for 2014. One-nos for 2014. One-nos for 2014. So remember, we have the issue of the date, the workings like that. We have the total nos. Remember that the total nos, this is what we call the cumulative number of what year shares, right? So we have in this case here the time, we have the bonus fraction, and then lastly, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the what year? The one-nos, the one-nos. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg to start this class. I continue with this session here tomorrow at the same time. It is exactly, it's only 5 minutes to time. And I have another class tomorrow at 5. At my age, I need to sleep for 5 hours. At my age, I must sleep for 5 hours. Tomorrow, I have advanced financial management at exactly 5 a.m. At exactly 5 a.m., there is no worry. You can start here tomorrow. After all, we still need to go through this split. Or is it a LEM or which paper do we have tomorrow morning? Which paper do we have tomorrow morning? Is it a LEM or AFM? I think it's AFM. We have a timetable. I'll be able to check the timetable. Say something about AMA. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, we are doing this helicopter class. We've got so many helicopter classes left here. These helicopter revision classes. They'll only cost you 500 bob. Muna promote mwalimu. Hii kazi ni mzito. Muna promote mwalimu. Mnalipa 500 bob. We have a pay bill number. Mnaingia mara moja. Mnatafutia mwalimu wanafunzi. We have a pay bill number ya 4029569. Account number is your name. Your name. Unaingia mara moja. It is something about nimesaidia na wanafunzi, not per lesson, for the entire, including the lessons you have lost, the few lessons you have lost, you will get videos for the entire. Right? Yes. Tutamaliza, unajua mimi najijua sana, nikiendelea kidogo, that disappoint wanafunzi wa asubuhi. Why should we be in a hurry and tomorrow we are here? Tomorrow we are here. Tomorrow we are here. Nobody's going to die. FM is 5 to 6 a.m. Yes. Mwalimu, you are the best. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have taught this thing for so many years. We have taught this thing for so many years. Wanafunzi ambao wanahurumia ni wale ambao wanaenda kwa physical classes, au wanahurumia kidogo vile siweza kuambia. So na sasa ukicompare for example with the students ambao nimekuwa nikifunza hapa throughout. Wamefanya vitu mingi sana, not because they are bright, but because of what the time they save. That 1 hour traveling. That 1 hour traveling here and there is too much. Unakaa home, and then again at the end of the day, helicopter timetable, I'll be able to send it to you. I'll send it to you here. Lazima we shall overcome. Yeah, we shall overcome. Lakini start getting used to this. Stop recording. Yeah, thank you very much. After you stop recording, end the class. End the class. End the class. Because tomorrow morning, we need to wake up and do a few issues here and there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We shall overcome, right? We shall overcome. It's good to know that you enjoyed the class. Bye. Oh, our school number. So if you want to call us, don't call me directly. These are the numbers you will get. Huyu mwalimu huwezi kumpata kwa urahisi, inakuwa ngumu kidogo because of what it does. Yeah, good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.